Okay, so I've got my sourdough started. So I'm using this recipe which didn't print out very well, but it's supposed to be like a very easy sourdough recipe. So I've just done this first part here, which is feed my sourdough starter. So I did that last night, so it would be 12 hours. It was nice and bubbly. It passed the float test, and my starter has been, I've started it a couple weeks ago, so it should be mature, I hope. Oh, look at this. I made this brioche loaf in my bread maker last night. It's kind of crumbly. I think I added too much butter. It's almost like biscuit texture, which I think just means that the ratio of like fat to flour is a little off. Here is my sourdough jar. It smells like yeast would in a way, you know, and it doesn't like have this like wretched sour scent. And I'm wondering if maybe I'm not doing it right. Oh, I got the crumbs everywhere. But so it's 475 grams of all-purpose flour, 100 grams of starter, 325 grams of water, and 10 grams of salt. I've done these 3 steps: feeding, combining, and now we're in this resting phase of letting the flour hydrate for 30 minutes. It says cover with plastic wrap or a lid and allow it to rest for 30 minutes for the water to hydrate the flour. The next step is to stretch and fold. Grab the edge of the dough, pull up, stretching it out, pull upwards. This may be difficult. You may need to kind of bounce the dough to get it stretched. Place the dough that is in your hands back into the center. Turn the bowl about a quarter turn. Complete. Okay, repeat 2 more times. So it's just a very slowed down kneading process. Kitchen scale is one of the things adding into my kitchen that I really, really like. And the second is my bread maker. I'm not doing this one in the bread maker. I'm doing classic sourdough today. So we're gonna do this one as the recipe calls for it. But I do have a sourdough bread maker recipe, which I think is kind of a faux sourdough because you use the sourdough starter, but you also use a little bit of yeast. So it's not relying entirely on the sourdough and the fermentation and the whatever is in sourdough starter that makes it rise. So I did 3 more stretch and pulls and the dough is forming a lot neater. I put plastic wrap for the bulk format. I'm gonna let it sit for 6 hours. It's 11 o'clock right now, so that'll put us at 5 o'clock tonight when I do my shaping, and hopefully I can get this baked. Oh, okay. Can you stop? Oh my goodness. Thank you. Can you wipe that up? Here, take a towel. We spilled, so we need to wipe it up. Can you wipe it up? Say, here, show Mama. Say, wipe, wipe, wipe. Your turn. Yeah, wipe it up. Good job. I can get this to rise and to double in size, but we will see. This is my first time ever making sourdough like properly. There's a wasp in here. Quick sourdough over here, my bread maker, is also in the rising process, so I'll let that keep going. It'll be done in 1 hour and 19 minutes. My sourdough loaf.
There it is.
Sounds pretty hollow. Let's cut it in half. Here's my sourdough loaf. Sounds nice and hollow. Got a good crust. All right, I'm gonna cut it in half. That's what everybody does. They cut it like straight in half. Looks a little dense in the middle. I probably could have let it ferment for longer, or maybe let it rise for longer. What do you think?
Smells good.
Is it good? Yeah. Here's the difference between my quick sourdough bread and the bread maker. Done entirely in the bread maker. I just put all the ingredients in. And then here's my sourdough bread that took 2 days to make. It is obviously a much prettier loaf. But in this recipe, because it's like fake sourdough, it's like quick sourdough, it just has sourdough starter and then it's basically a basic bread recipe. I was able to add honey to this, so it's a little bit sweeter. It's still like kind of the same like springiness and everything, but clearly just not the same. So pretty. I gotta like take a picture. Wow. It's February 20th and I got sick for a couple days. I made the quick sourdough in the bread maker. I made proper sourdough, which actually turned out pretty good. The boys loved it. And then now I'm kind of like on a sourdough discard kick. So I made sourdough discard chocolate chip cookies. I made sourdough discard naan bread. Made that this morning. And now I'm currently, while I'm seasoning my cast iron, I'm making sourdough discard crackers. So I'm just kind of accumulating recipes. And I print them out because I don't trust any websites anymore to hold my recipes. But you know what I mean? Like, oh, I had a bunch of recipes on TikTok, right? And then I was like, oh, TikTok's gonna get banned. It's like, well, fuck. So I just print out all of my recipes now. If I halfway like it, I print it out, and then I have it for future use. So that's what I do. All of it is really good, and I thought, oh, sourdough discard cookies, blah, no, that's not gonna be any good. They're actually really, really good. They're spectacular. I used a combination of milk chocolate chips and dark chocolate chunks, and then sprinkled with a little sea salt. Oh, did I show you my sea salt? Hang on. So during our cruise, I bought sea salt. So I have sea salt now, and I put it in my salt grinder here. I had to like look it up, and I was like, is it safe to eat this sea salt? And from everything I can see, it is safe as long as there's not like stuff in it. But there, you know, the internet was like, there probably will be microplastics in it. And I'm like, what doesn't have microplastics in it at this point? And my son's taking his shirt off. Okay, I gotta go.